Which is better, talent or hard work? We've all been asked this before, at least a version of it. We've all had the experience where we've trained all summer, we got our base season in, and you couldn't wait to show everyone how much you've improved over the summer when you go back to your club or your school. And then when you go to your first workout, you get absolutely destroyed by some dude in basketball shoes and a Tommy Hilfiger collared shirt. When you find out it's his first time running, you feel your soul crush a little bit inside. It's a life lesson and a feeling you'll never forget. Your heart literally shrinks inside your chest because this guy probably has more talent than you. This scenario, in its essence, captures the whole feeling of hard work versus talent. So let's break that down. What is talent in running? Talent is the exceptional results of an athlete early in their training life. And because it's early in their training life, talent is also interlinked with the word potential. That's why young people all the time, young fast people, are called talented. You'll hear people say, you see how good this guy's right now, how much talent he has right now. Just imagine if he had another few months or another year of training, where he could be. Talent is interlinked with potential and not always youth. Talent is so important that whole national institutions, athletic institutions, have systems to develop athletes or recognize them and then develop them as early in their life as possible. Athletics Canada literally has a time called talent recognition, which means if you're running a specific time, that confirms that you have a certain amount of talent that's worth investing into, especially if you're younger. So let's simplify talent into 3 criteria where you have to satisfy all of them in order to be called talented. 1, to be called talented, you have to be running faster than your peers. This one's obvious because when you're in gym class, your gym coach doesn't go to the person who came 3rd or 4th last in a race and says, you know, you have a lot of talent. It's usually the top finishers that are called talented. And everyone to a degree completely agrees with that. 2, they are early in their training journey, meaning they haven't trained too much. Maybe they're in the first few years or the first few months even of their training journey and they're already having exceptional results. And 3, they are youthful. This isn't always the case. As you do hear people call other older people talented, it's much less. If you watch like old world championships with names like Bernard Lagat in his later years and pretty much anyone over the age of 27, listen to how they describe them compared to someone they describe who's under the age of 21. Under the age of 21, you have, he's so talented. He's so genetically gifted. He's not even in his prime. Things along those lines. When someone's over the age of 27, you hear, he's in the twilight of his career. This might be his last world championships. Let's see if he can keep up with the young guns. You know, those are the kind of vibes that people have. So generally speaking, when we're speaking of talent, they're youthful. Easy examples of this is Gout Gout, the modern teenage phenom from New Zealand, who's killing it right now in the 100 meters and the 200 meter dash. Before him, Arian Knighton. And in the distance world, you had Hobbs Kessler, Jacob Ingebrigtsen, all made a huge splash in their high school years. Without a doubt, they're talented and they're always spoken of so. To put in perspective how talented Hobbs Kessler was, or he still is talented, but back in his high school days, he ran 3:34 for the 1500 meter, when at the time, the collegiate record in the NCAA was 3:35. So the high school record was faster than the collegiate record, which is just crazy to think about. However, I want to bring in a second class of athletes now. The likes of Muhammad Ahmed of Canada, Ollie Hoare of Australia, Nick Willis of New Zealand. All of these athletes, if you looked at them in high school, you wouldn't call them talented in comparison to the Hobbs Kesslers and the Jacob Ingebrigtsens. They weren't even on the same level. Yet, over the course of their careers, they are all now on the international stage. Muhammad Ahmed has an Olympic silver and a world bronze to his name. Ollie Hoare is the defending Commonwealth champion. Nick Willis is a silver medalist in the 1500 meter at the Olympics. In my opinion, it should be gold given that whole Kiprop scandal, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Yet the likes of Nick Willis, Ahmed, and Hoare, they all got incrementally better over time. Sure, they had their big drops in times, but they just got incrementally better until suddenly you're on the world stage. If you keep getting faster and faster, eventually you'll get there. So the question is, if you have the likes of Hobbs Kessler and Ingebrigtsen, who are considered very talented and still are. And then you consider the other three group of people who are now all on the equivalent stage. How do you square the circle of why they're at the same stage now? Did Hobbs Kessler not work that hard and Ollie Hoare worked really hard and now they're at the same level? Is Hobbs Kessler not as talented as we had once thought? Or does talent have a lot more to do with hard work than we think? So similarly to defining talent, let's define hard work. Hard work is 1, time spent in training and recovery, and 2, the quality spent in training and recovery. So now that we have the criteria for hard work, I want to bring you back to the first criteria of talent, running faster than your peers. And running faster than your peers means you have to run faster over time too. And how do you run faster over time? Well, you have to practice. Because if you don't practice, you're not going to run faster over time. This is a general concept everyone understands. You have to practice to get better. And the mechanism of getting better over time through practice is you get the physical and mental adaptations for your body to move faster and for your mind to convince your body to move faster and thinking of the cues and the brain-muscle connections, how to push through discomfort, etc. So while hard work will compound into faster times over time, talent is a mixture of what you are running right now and how fast you're making those adaptations. Think of talent as the rate of change of adaptation given a certain amount of work you're doing. So given all that, we can go back to the original question. What's better, hard work or talent? On a long enough time scale, hard work will beat talent to the extent where you forgot who was called talented in the first place. The way I look at it, and the way I think most people should look at it, is hard work is the potential for the future, talent is the now. It's the rate of change your body is adapting to physical stimulus right now. It's the rate of change of how much faster you're getting right now. And it's how fast you are running right now. So if you're just purely relying on talent to get by, you won't get better because you aren't getting faster. You're not doing the practice. You're not putting in the effort. You're not putting in the effort to recover. You're not putting in the effort to train. While the hardworking person over time is, and he is automatically making those adaptations. So even though if you're talented, you have the potential to work hard, it doesn't mean you are. And you will eventually be surpassed. Talent is based on the results you're having right now, and hard work will eventually get you those results. Talent by itself might get you results right now because technically speaking, it is results. Again, going back to the example, if you're called talented, you are better than your peers, most likely. But talent alone will not get you results in the future, while hard work might get you labeled as talented in the future because you become better than everyone else. An example of this would be if you ask a middle school coach who is the most talented track athlete in your group, and then you go to a high school coach with the same group of people graduating middle school and you say, who's the most talented in this group? And then you go to a collegiate coach with the same group of people and you say, well, give me the most talented people in this group. And then 4 years after that, you go to post-collegiate coaches, your professional coaches, and you ask them, who's the most talented in this group? It will not be the same person every single time. In the very rare cases, it will be. But in most cases, it's not. It's the people who work the hardest who get where they want to go. Now, obviously, there's things beyond the scope of hard work and talent that go into getting better at running. There's nuanced situations like if you fix your sleep apnea and you recover better and make better adaptations, does that fall into hard work or talent? In the scope of this argument, I've kind of lumped that in and those kind of scenarios into hard work. But then again, there's stuff like injuries. And you can say, is it a talent not to get injured? It might be. Or is it hard work because you put in the gym work so you don't injure certain parts of your body? This is something I have experience in. I was injured for 7 years, didn't run a single track season, and through a bunch of gym work and exercises, now I get injured way less frequently. And put a final way, if you want to summarize this whole argument down to one sentence, you can't talent your way to hard work, but you can hard work your way to talent. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. All right, guys, post credits. Just my thoughts on the question in general, hard work versus talent. Again, I think it's just way too narrow in scope of what we're discussing. Like, hard work is such a whole encompassing word that if you just work hard without being smart about the work you do, you can make a very good argument that talent is actually better than hard work. You know, for example, if I tell you to dig a hole for 12 hours, are you going to tell me that's not hard work? Then I'm going to tell you to run 100 meters. I doubt you're going to run faster. I bet you're going to be very sore. I bet you're going to be very tired. It's not going to help your 100-meter time. Yet I think hard work is the clear answer here just because As I've said in some previous videos, it is easier now than ever to become great at something. The amount of knowledge and experience that coaches have now compared to when I was younger, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, the good coaches have really upped their game. They've really closed the gap between great and good. And the great coaches are still pushing the boundaries of what's possible and the new ways of training, obviously combined with the ways that work. But that's why, in my opinion, if you see at all these different schools now, you have all of these different people running faster. It's not the same programs over and over and over again. You have athletes from Harvard, Northern Arizona University, Mississippi State, people from all over now, Oregon. These are all programs that have developed into phenomenal programs. And if you have decent facilities to train on and life-abiding circumstances I describe as you're not in poverty. Your personal life isn't chaotic. You know where your next meal's gonna be. I guess that compares to poverty, but there are so many things that can just absolutely derail you. Like, say you're growing up and you want to be a track star and you're only getting 6 hours of sleep a night because your next door neighbors are screaming at each other at 3 a.m. because they're wasted. Now, does that fall into hard work, talent, or in its own category? I'm pushing more towards the latter. Anyways, guys, I hope that all made sense. If I missed something, please comment below. Tell me what I missed. Tell me if you think differently, if you think talent is way better than hard work. Or if you agree with me, tell me if there's something I missed in terms of the agreement, right? And on that note, for real this time, I'll see you next time.